listen to this alone in the dark. I'm standing in my laundry room right now, and I shouldn't be, because the machine finished 10 minutes ago, and I've been staring at it this whole time like it's going to do something else, like it's not done with me yet. And I know that sounds stupid, but it's the only thing in my apartment that's still making noise. A slow, ticking sound like it's cooling down, except it didn't sound like that before tonight. And I keep thinking if I just leave it alone, it'll stop. But it hasn't, and I haven't moved. It started normal, just a regular night, nothing off about it. I got home late, dropped my keys in the bowl by the door, turned on the kitchen light, and everything looked the same as always. Same smell, same quiet, just me in here. I even remember thinking how still it felt, like the building was empty, which isn't unusual this late, so I didn't think anything of it. I just went about my routine, put a load of laundry in, shut the door, and hit start. I was in the living room when I first heard it change. At first, I thought it was just the cycle shifting, that heavy turn when the drum resets. But this was slower, like it was dragging something, like the weight inside didn't belong to clothes. And I sat there for a second, listening, trying to tell myself it was nothing, that machines make weird sounds all the time. But then it stopped, completely. No spin, no hum, just silence. And then it started again, but different. There was a gap between each movement, like it was waiting. Like something inside was deciding when to move, instead of the machine doing it on its own. And I remember getting up, walking toward the hallway, not fast, just slow, like I didn't want to surprise whatever was happening, which didn't make sense even then, but I still did it. And when I reached the laundry room door, I just stood there. The machine wasn't supposed to stop mid-cycle. I knew that. I should have opened it right then, checked it, reset it, something normal, something that made sense. But I didn't, because there was a sound coming from inside, and it wasn't mechanical anymore. It sounded like breathing. Not loud, not exaggerated, just steady, low, like someone trying to stay quiet. I put my hand on the door and it was warm, warmer than it should have been, like heat was building up inside. And for a second I thought maybe something was wrong with the motor. Maybe it overheated. Maybe that's what I was hearing, just air moving through it. But the rhythm was wrong. It matched a person. I stepped back without realizing I was moving, and the sound stopped immediately. Not faded out, not slowed down, stopped. And I just stood there in the hallway, looking at the door, waiting for it to start again. Because I knew it would, because it didn't feel finished. And after a few seconds, it did. Same breathing, same slow, controlled pace. And then the machine clicked. Not like a cycle click, not the usual sound. This was sharp, deliberate, like something inside pressed against the latch. I said, "Okay, that's not right." My voice sounded too loud in the hallway, like it didn't belong there, and the breathing inside stopped again, like it was listening to me. And I felt that shift, that moment where something changes and you know you shouldn't stay, you shouldn't keep pushing it. But I didn't leave. I took another step closer. I don't know why. I reached for the handle, and my hand was shaking. Not a lot, just enough that I noticed it. And I kept telling myself this was stupid, that it was just a broken machine, that I was overthinking it. But none of that matched what I was hearing, and I knew that. I pulled the door open. The machine was still. Clothes sitting exactly where they should be. No movement, no sound, nothing. I just stood there, staring into it, waiting for something to happen, for something to move, but it didn't. And after a few seconds, I actually felt stupid, like I'd worked myself up over nothing. So I leaned in a little, reached inside, grabbed a shirt, and it was damp, normal. Everything felt normal. And then something shifted behind the clothes. Not a spin, not a drop. A shift. Like something adjusting its position deeper inside. I froze. My hand still holding the shirt halfway out, and I didn't pull it back. I didn't move at all, because I knew if I moved too fast, whatever was in there would react. And then I heard it again, right in front of me. Not loud. Close. Too close. Inside the machine. I dropped the shirt and stumbled back, hitting the wall behind me, and the drum moved on its own, slow, just enough for me to see deeper inside. And that's when I saw it. Something pressed against the back of the drum. Not clothes, not shadows. Skin. Pale. Stretched tight over something that wasn't shaped right. And it moved. It leaned forward, out of the dark, and I saw its face. No, not a face like a person. It had the shape of one, but everything was wrong. Too smooth, no clear features, just shallow indentations where things should be. And the way it tilted toward me, like it was trying to understand me, like it was learning what I looked like. I said, "No, no, no, no." And it reacted. It shifted faster this time, pressing forward, filling more of the drum, and the machine creaked under the pressure, like it wasn't built to hold something that size. And I realized it wasn't inside the laundry. It was inside the machine itself, like it had always been there, like I had just turned it on. I backed out of the laundry room, step by step, not turning my back on it because I couldn't. I couldn't lose sight of it. And it followed, not stepping out, not climbing out, just pressing forward, closer to the opening, like it was testing how far it could go. I said, "Stay. Stay there." And I don't know why I said that, like it would listen, like it would care. But it stopped moving. It held still. And then slowly, it tilted its head, like it recognized the sound of my voice. And I felt it. That awareness. It knew I saw it. It knew I understood. And the machine clicked again, louder this time. The drum jerked, and it came closer. I turned and ran. I didn't think about it. I just moved, straight to the front door, grabbing my keys, fumbling with the lock, my hands not working right, dropping them once, picking them back up. And behind me, I heard the machine slam. Not open. Just slam. Like something inside hit the door. Hard. I got the door open, stepped into the hallway, and I didn't even look back. I just pulled it shut and started walking fast, then faster, then almost running, until I reached the stairwell. I didn't stop until I was outside. I stood on the sidewalk, breathing hard, trying to make sense of it, trying to convince myself I didn't see what I saw, that it was something else, anything else. But I knew. And I didn't go back. Not that night. I stayed at a hotel, didn't sleep, just kept the lights on and sat there, listening, waiting for something to follow me, but nothing did. Morning came, and I told myself it was over, that whatever happened was contained, that it stayed in the machine. So I went back. I shouldn't have. The apartment looked normal, door still closed, everything quiet, and I stood there for a long time before going inside. Nothing moved, nothing made a sound. I walked to the laundry room, slow, careful, and the door was still open from when I ran. The machine was empty, completely empty. No clothes, nothing, just a dark drum. I said, "No." And I stepped closer, looking inside, making sure. And then I heard it, behind me. Close, right behind me. I turned slowly, And it was standing in the hallway, not inside the machine anymore, not contained. It had my height, my shape. But the surface was wrong, stretched, shifting, like it was still trying to hold that form together, and it tilted its head the same way it did before, studying me, learning me. I stepped back. It stepped forward, matching me perfectly. I said, "Stop!" And it did, instantly, like it understood, like it was waiting for instructions. And then it took one more step, closer than before. And I realized something. It wasn't copying me. It was replacing me. Every movement I made, it adjusted. Every sound I made, it listened. And I knew if I stayed, if I let it get close enough, it wouldn't need me anymore. So I ran again. Out the door, down the hall, out of the building. And I didn't stop. I left everything. I haven't gone back, but the machine is still there. And whatever came out of it didn't stay behind, because I've heard it in other places, in quiet rooms, in small spaces. That same breathing, that same slow, controlled sound, like it's still learning, still getting closer. If you're listening to this, you've probably got something running in the background right now, something making noise you're not paying attention to. And if that sound changes even a little, don't ignore it, because I didn't, and it still found a way out. If you have a horror story of your own, please feel free to drop it in the comment section. You never know, the next story could be yours. Subscribe to The Vault so you don't miss what comes next.